Well, welcome to the 2021 edition of PharSide Folios. I am your host, Monica Leek. I am the managing editor for the PharSide Co-Ed Book Club, and we are continuing our month-long celebration of women who write with a special series of author interviews along with our daily posts. And today's special guest is Miss Stephanie White. She is a wife, mother, a licensed minister, former missionary with CRU, and teacher, and has come to know God as Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides. She graduated from my alma mater, Appalachian State University, with a bachelor's degree in special education. She has spent 23 years as an educator in public schools. In 2011, due to a sustained injury, she lost her job, found herself humble before God, and the following day, she received a check in the mail. She declared that to be her kiss from God. Wow, what a beautiful point. And in 2014, she took on the role as a youth minister, and she possesses a passion for communicating the gospel to people of all ages. This is evident through her 6-year ministry with Campus Crusade for Christ. And the term kiss from God transformed her completely. And within weeks, she began to use what she had come to describe as her 2 fish and 5 loaves, and the little talent that she had to write and draw, as an opportunity to create poetic messages and images that coincided with the theme, Kisses from God. And God has truly orchestrated her life with intention and divine purpose and impacting the hearts of young people for Him. And her prayer is that God uses her written work as ministry tools to convey His love to children near and far. So we welcome to the far side today, Mrs. Stephanie White. Thank you so much for being here.
And thank you for having me.
So we are going to jump into talking about this beautiful book, one of your books, because you've written many. Little Brown Boy, You Are a Star. So what was the particular, interest or inspiration behind that particular book?
Well, prior to writing Little Brown Boy, You Are a Star, I actually had written a book for little girls, and it's called I Am Divinely Beautiful. And at the time that I was publishing I Am Divinely Beautiful, I was teaching at a Christian school here, in McDonough, Georgia. And when I shared that book with the class, the boys were like, well, Miss White, what about us? You don't have a book for boys? And so, I thought, you know what? I probably should write a book for boys also, because they also need that affirmation and encouragement, especially in light of all that we're going through and, during, in times like now. So that actually was my inspiration for writing Little Brown Boy.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about Little Brown Boy, You Are a Star, without giving the whole story away.
Okay, so Little Brown Boy is just a book. It's a self-esteem book, and it's filled with affirmations, basically letting them know who they are and what their capabilities are. And there are no impossibilities. Like the sky is the limit. Wherever they want to reach, whatever they want to aspire to do or be, that they can do it.
And you speak of self-esteem and affirmation within this particular book. So do you have a favorite affirmation or part of your story that you can share with our audience?
Yeah, so the book basically, again, like I had shared, is just filled with, the many, 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 many things that they can actually aspire to be. But it specifically spells out in on 2 of the pages, a lawyer you can be, politician or physician, a pilot, athlete, or talented musician. And so I know, as I have talked with little boys, as I've worked with little boys throughout my years of teaching, one of the things that I have found out to be true is that a lot of times when you ask them the question, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? Their go to, or the popular statement or response is, I want to be an athlete. I want to play football. I want to play basketball. And I just wanted them to know that there is so much more out there that they can do and that they can be. There's, again, unlimited possibilities, and that not everybody's going to make it to the NBA or the NFL, but there are gifts and passions and other pursuits that you can take to be just as accomplished.
So another thing, you've got affirmations, you're building self-esteem, you're speaking to endless possibilities and providing options, and through this story of Little Brown Boy, and the belief in oneself, and which is something that the book discusses. Why do you think this concept is so important for young Black boys?
Again, with the Black Lives Matters movement, it's just so important at this day and time for Black boys of any melanin hue to recognize their possibilities, and that they are not defined by the color of their skin, and that no one can discredit, what they can do or what they can be. It really is up to them, but it actually starts from the belief within. And so if they can believe, that they are more than, then is again no limit to what they can do.
And that's a powerful message to convey. And we definitely want to encourage our viewing audience and those who will watch by replay, of the importance of this message of, developing, that self-esteem in our young Black boys, to encourage them to dream and see possibilities beyond where they may be currently, that there's a big world, outside of where they live or reside, and that the opportunities are endless. So this is a great message to convey in this story, and I'm excited about all the different affirmations, because you've got something directed for our boys, and you also, written something for our girls as well, as they are also in need of that encouragement, and just understanding, and just building that self-esteem, and how they see themselves in the mirror and can have appreciation for who God has made them to be, and see themselves as being divinely designed by God with purpose. You talk about also in the book about having the capacity to do great things. What are some things parents and teachers and those in the leaders in community can do to, convey or instill that message to our young Black boys?
That's a really good question. I think from the ground up, from birth, we need to be pouring into our kids. We need to let them know how special they are, that yes, they are a creation of God, and that He does not make mistakes, and that they're uniquely designed, with His image, and that because He made them, He thought that they were good. Skin tone and all. Your skin tone does not define you. And so if we can let them know that there is no limit to what they can do, and then, instill those dreams in them early on and do things to expose them. Like, for example, if your child, decides that, oh, one day I want to grow up and I want to be an astronaut. Well, use that as an opportunity to expose them, let them read books, take them to NASA, if you have the opportunity, or, just do some research and find out, who are some African Americans that have expired, that dreamed like you are dreaming, and have not only dreamed, but actually have become what they've aspired to be. And let them know that if they can do it, you can do it too. So just exposure and just solidification, just making them know that it doesn't just have to stop with the dream. It actually can become a reality.
All right. Those are some words of wisdom. So definitely hope that those listening and those who will catch the replay will pick up on those nuggets so that we can implement these strategies to convey these messages, to empower and equip and give tools to our young Black boys as they navigate the different phases of life and, go throughout and navigate the world, that they've got those big dreams. They can dream big dreams, and those dreams can become reality, and they are without limits. So what is something else that you hope that readers will take away from your book?
I just want them to know, as readers, that everything that that book conveys, they are. Everything that that book says about them is true. Everything that that book, declares that they can do and be, they can. And so it's not a fiction, it's actually a reality. And if they wrap their minds and hearts around it, and then put in, all the diligence and hard work that's required to become or to do or to be, then they too can have those dreams become true. And then lastly, I think the main thing too is that it, they need to see themselves as stars. They need to see themselves as being able to make a difference in the world. They need to see themselves as being able to bring about change and really make a living impact and a lasting legacy on the world.
Little Brown Boy, You Are a Star. It's a part of a series. So are you currently working on the next book and in the series, and what can readers expect?
All right, so the two-book series, Little Brown Boy and I Am Divinely Beautiful, are a part of my self-esteem books.
Okay.
But God has redirected me and has given me another big major project, and it's called the Charity series. So Charity is my little heart-shaped character that God sends from above to help children deal with all the difficult issues that they have to face in life. And it tackles really hard issues that parents may be intimidated to address, but it comes from a really friendly and loving source. And so, for example, some of the issues deal with bullying, again, self-esteem, death of a loved one, abuse, adoption. I mean, the list goes on. But currently, I have written just this year. Well, actually, the end of last year, leading into this year, I have currently put out 8 of the charity books. And so that is something that is going to be a continuation as well. And I just am so excited about the journey of what those books are going to do and the impact that they're going to have on children for years and years to come.
That is totally amazing and should be motivating and inspiring to many of those who may be watching who desire to write or have a dream to write, or they're, want and are, have this idea that, okay, I've got this concept and I feel like I want to put it out there and bring it forward. what was your writing journey, as you've done, a self-esteem series, and now you've got this charity series that you're writing, and now you have this growing library of your work that is been brought forward. And what was your journey like?
So it actually happened. I did get injured in 2011, sustained an injury on my job, and actually had to go into medical retirement. And it was during that season that God just began to speak to my heart and give me inspiring messages. And actually, it started out with just a devotional book for adults. And it was a poetic book. And that was actually the time that I was beginning to discover that God had given me a gift of poetry. And as I worked later on in ministry, I realized that there was not much curriculum out there, and there was not many books out there for children of color. And so, again, just dealing with the self-esteem issues, that was actually, my genesis. But when I completed those two, and I thought that I was going to continue with that, God just again gave me this idea of charity, that children need a character, especially our children. We need a character in which they can relate, um, that will also be that encouragement and that motivation, and that would instill in them the desires and the comfort and the help and the support that they need to get through difficult times. So that actually has been a really sweet journey. I started out with a big publishing company and realized that that was really not the route I wanted to go. And again, where God guides, He provides. And so He's provided me with this awesome publisher who has not only taken an interest in my literature from a financial perspective, but who's willing to journey with me to the end. And she makes it affordable, she makes it doable. She works alongside with me. Like, if I need something for marketing, she sends it. I mean, it's nothing that she has not shown me that she's not willing to do to support me in this endeavor.
Now that is a blessing, um, more than a blessing for those of us who are navigating the world of self-publishing and or exploring, traditional, means of publishing. To have someone really walk with you in the process is big, and it's a major thing. So that's truly a blessing that you've got a publisher that is walking with you in this process and in this journey of writing, that you can get that support from in different aspects, of the writing process, to include that marketing piece, because marketing is so big. Do you have any tips, like writing tips, like one or two writing tips that maybe you could provide for even young authors, or aspiring authors who are thinking about, or dreaming about writing a book?
I tell, and even, when I share with my students and they say, "Oh, I want to write a book one day," usually I'll tell them, keep that pen and notebook handy. And when a thought comes to mind, jot it down, lest you forget. So I would say just keep a ongoing journal that chronicles your thoughts, your ideas, anything that is conveyed to you through the process. Get it written down, and don't sit on it too long.
Mhm.
Do it while it's fresh and while it's relevant. And I think, and believe in yourself, believe in the fact that you are just as successful or can be as successful as the next writer. And your book is one of a kind. So yeah, a lot of people are writing books, but it's not the book that has been designed for you to write. So just know that even if you say, well, everybody's doing this and everybody's doing it, they're not doing it your way, or they're not, conveying the same identical thoughts that you have been entrusted to convey. So just take it forward, march with it, and don't let anybody deter you. Believe in yourself, and then just do your homework and do whatever it is that you need to do to get the resource or the emotional support, and just go for it.
All right, so those are some definitely good nuggets for our young writers and aspiring writers to remember. Like, write it down, write it, notebook, journal, bullet point it, to write while it's fresh and relevant. You want to write when it's in season. And believe in yourself, believe that you are a writer, believe that in your commitment, and make that commitment to the writing process. It is a commitment to, from start to finish, from, draft and editing to publication, and seeing that finished work out there. So it is a full on-site journey, and we're going to be committed to that process. And we're thankful for those tips. And we're reminded that great writing requires us to do some homework, and some research when it comes to our desire to write and our desire to be published. So thank you, Ms. White, for these great and wonderful tips. And I'm sure our viewers and those who will catch the replay will definitely take these nuggets with them as they begin or start their writing journey. So when I say representation matters, what does that mean to you, especially for the story that you've written about Little Brown Boy, You Are a Star, and as well as your book about being divinely designed, and then your whole charity series that you are working on and have published, within this season?
I truly believe that my purpose and one of the things that I want to represent, as I am committed to the writing process and putting out books that speak to the hearts of children, I want to first of all reflect God's love more than anything else. And that's the way I want to be remembered, that I was not just an author that wrote books, but my mission and my purpose was to instill in children, first of all, God's love for them. And not only that, but God's ability to accomplish great things through them. So that's what I see my mission as being.
All right. So for our viewers and listeners, can you tell us, how they connect and follow you on social media, and how they can purchase your books?
Yes. So currently, well, I do have a website, and it is actually under construction still, but it should be ready to go full force by the end of this month. But it is Heavens with an S, divinekiss.com. And then I do have social media sites. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook under the name of Heaven's Divine Kiss, or my name, Ann White. And my books are also in on Amazon and in Barnes and Noble, and they're available through me. So if you want an autographed copy, you can actually, go on my website and just message me, and I actually send you that autographed copy.
Okay, so for our viewing and replay audience, you definitely want to follow Mrs. White on her social media platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, and reach out to her website and get a signed copy. There's nothing like having a signed copy of a book. From the author, a signed copy from the author, and definitely special if you're getting these stories for your children, and sharing these stories with your children, that you able to give the gift of a book with the author's signature for your child. So that's a special bonus, and I'm sure you reach out to her and she'll get that signed, especially for your little ones, as you share these messages of empowerment, these messages of self-esteem, of endless possibilities, and being created in the divine image, and all of the blessings that these stories carry with it. So definitely, we are encouraging you to just check out her website, check out all of the work that she has written. I mean, she's got the books, and so she's put the work in, and it shows. And so we are so grateful and thank our guest, Miss Stephanie Kilgore-White, for spending the time with us this afternoon. We wish you continued success with Little Brown Boy, You Are a Star, and all the other wonderful projects that you have even in the future to come. So we want to remind our audience to stay tuned into the PharSide Co-Ed Book Club Facebook page for more author interviews and posts as we celebrate women who write during a Women's History Month. So until next time, many roots, many voices are a part of the infinite story. So plant your seed. So until next time, be blessed.